Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek, and today we're reviewing the Ariel Rider Rideal. Let's check it out. The Ariel Rider Rideal is very much a simple e-bike. That doesn't mean it's not good quality, it is. It's a very nice bike, but it's a simple, no-thrills bike. In fact, the lack of some fancier features you'll find on other bikes is a big part of what helped Ariel Rider reach the $999 price point while still offering a very nice option for an affordable commuter e-bike. At that price, you still get a lot of good stuff here. That rear motor is a 750 watt geared hub motor, and it is definitely peppy. When you twist the throttle or stand on the pedal assist, you feel it more than a lesser 350 or 500 watt motor that we normally find on these types of urban e-bikes. The battery is also larger than most urban e-bikes too, coming in at 48 volts and 14 amp hours for 672 watt hours of capacity. They claim 60 miles of range, but that's like, a pretty big exaggeration. I'd say 45 miles on pedal assist or 30 miles on throttle are much more reasonable expectations. The bike has a lower top speed of just 20 miles an hour, so that does help get better range than you might expect. Most of Ariel Rider's e-bikes are faster and more powerful, but a reasonably fast and powerful e-bike like this uses its battery much more efficiently, so you actually get pretty good range. As impressive as the performance is considering the price, the rest of the e-bike's electrical components are pretty good. Decent, get the job done kind of stuff. The display is a simple LED display, nothing fancy. The throttle is fine and the pedal assist is cadence-based, all good stuff, again nothing fancy. The same pretty much goes for the bike side of things too. There's a nice aluminum frame that's available in mid-step like this one, or a high-step version with a larger front triangle. There's a simple but good Shimano Tourney 6-speed transmission, which in fact is probably the single biggest upgrade over the single-speed rad mission that this bike is obviously inspired by, though the larger battery and motor here on the Rideal are arguably just as important upgrades. Back to this bike though, you also get mounting points for fenders and front and rear racks. I added the front rack and fenders, but I left the rear empty for less junk in the trunk. But you could slap on a rear rack and then really turn this into a utility e-bike with dual baskets or racks. I'd love to see some of those parts included standard, but they charge extra for the racks and fenders. The good news is the lights and kickstand are included as standard equipment, which is not always a given on value-priced e-bikes like this. The one other area that you'll want to make special note of is the lack of suspension. Like, any, at all. There's not even front suspension, just a simple rigid steel fork paired with the hardtail aluminum frame.
So it's probably not meant for that type of riding, but the fact that it can do it is pretty cool.
The lack of suspension helps keep both the price and the weight down, which, by the way, the bike weighs 52 pounds, putting it somewhere in the middle of the road for e-bike weights. If you've been riding an urban bike for a while, you're probably used to not having suspension and you won't miss it. If you're more familiar with cheap mountain bikes or really anything with a suspension fork, it might take a bit of getting used to ride around with absolutely no suspension. The 1.95-inch tires are not particularly large either, so you don't have a lot of air to soak up bumps. But they're still wider than most narrow road tires, so it's kind of a Goldilocks situation there. So the lack of suspension might just take a bit of getting used to. If you're like me and you jump over enough speed bumps without suspension and a wide open throttle, you'll eventually shake your camera loose a bit. Though perhaps that's a reminder that this is really more of a metro e-bike designed for city riding, not skate park wannabe tomfoolery. So let's bring it home here. What have we got on our hands? This is a simple e-bike that doesn't try to do anything it's not meant to do. It's a standard urban commuter that offers better power and range than the competition, but that comes with fewer fancy features than a lot of e-bikes. It also feels like a much higher dollar e-bike than it really is, attesting to a nicely designed and well put together e-bike. It ain't fancy, but it works quite nicely, and at $999, it is more than worth the price.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the Ariel Rider Rideal. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.